What's poppin', everybody? Back with another video. In this video, I didn't really expect to do this video, but it's only right I do this video. It's only fair that I do this video. Math Hoffa apparently saw the video I posted, which was basically Sp8Ghost interview on Clubhouse about what happened between Math Hoffa, Hynaken, and Esso. And Space was saying some things about Math Hoffa, some disparaging things. So Math Hoffa, being a real one, salute the Math for jumping in my comment section. I'll read all the comments. And Math Hoffa said the product was created before his involvement. He never sent an invoice. I told him what's going on, but he never told me his intentions or wants, and he still has my equipment. He's not a businessman, period. So that's coming from straight from Math Hoffa. And like I said, salute to him because a lot of people would kind of just let it, whatever said about you, just let it slide. Math Hoffa's clearing it up. Now, who do I believe here? I'm leaning toward believing Math Hoffa on this, just because Sp8Ghost admitted that he was ignoring Math Hoffa for a long time. Like if it wasn't about an invoice, he was just ignoring Math Hoffa. So when you're admittedly ignoring somebody, the issue comes up that, okay, you don't know what Math Hoffa's texting you. You don't know what, like, the communication's broken, because I'm not even checking. Like, if I see your name pop up, I'm not even checking it. So it's like I could see how, Math Hoffa didn't know his wants, intentions, all that, because if you're straight up ignoring somebody, you don't know what their gripe with you is, what their beef with you is. So that could totally be 100% true. And he also says Sp8Ghost still has my equipment. As of right now, Sp8Ghost did admit he still has the equipment, but he claims he's out of town. But it's been a while. This interview's not super new. So yeah. And also shout out to Definitely Clout Chasers for doing a great interview. Like, they were pinpoint accurate with, like, the questions. They just got right to it. They didn't waste any time. They got right straight to the meat and potatoes, like what people want to know in response to what Math Hoffa said about Sp8Ghost. Salute to Math Hoffa for clearing that up. Like I said, I still feel like down the road, I feel like Math Hoffa, Sp8Ghost can, like, reconcile, because eventually Space is gonna have to give Math Hoffa back the equipment, and maybe they can sit down and talk, hash it out, just get some understanding, man. I feel like even money, I feel like it shouldn't get in the way of, like, just sitting down as brother, man to man. Like, let's squash it, let's squash it. Let's still work together, or let's figure it out. I feel like, but again, the Math Hoffa podcast is great and amazing because of Math Hoffa. Let's get that clear. Let's make sure that's out there first and foremost. That's why the podcast is what it is. Just like the Joe Budden podcast is what it is because of Joe. So, like, let's not get that confused. Everybody knows the Math Hoffa podcast is what it is because of Math Hoffa. But it's like, everybody needs a team. Everybody needs a team. So it's like it gets crazy when you're trying to flesh out, okay, who's important to this and who's not important, who's pulling their weight, who's not pulling their weight, who's doing, what I mean, who deserves this much money, who deserves that much money. That's how things fall apart. Because, like I said, it's about respect at the end of the day. I feel like, people might think they're more important than what they are, and then they feel like they deserve this much money, or they deserve that, or it could get crazy. And I'm not going to speculate on money, because I don't know the details of what happened. It's one of those things, man. Saga continues. I feel like the Math Hoffa podcast is still gonna be great, because just the whole vibe of the show is dope, man. Like, for me, it's like, you got the Joe Budden podcast, you got Drink Champs, you got Math Hoffa. Those are three king podcasts. No disrespect to Wallow and Gilly. I love $1 Million Worth of Game too, man. But if I had to do a top three, those are my top three. Like, if you're like, look, you can't watch nothing, I'm watching Math Hoffa, Joe Budden, and Nori on Drink Champs. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. I feel like Sp8Ghost should reach out to Math, just because of how he was moving and ignoring Math Hoffa. That's because you can't really say, yo, you're a horrible businessman, and then you're ignoring phone calls and texts. Like, that's not really good business, because you have to have a maturity level where you're sitting down talking about whatever. You keep the lines of communication open. You can't just be like, yo, if you ain't talking about money, I ain't even listening to you. Like that's not really good business to me, because you got to know what's going on, who's doing what. You know, got to keep communication open. That's just a bad habit, in not even in business, just in general, especially the showrunner, you know, the podcast, the head of the podcast, the creator of the podcast. Like, you can't just ignore him even if you want to, because he put you on. Like, he put you on, you know. It's just got to be that level of respect there to pick up the phone, communicate, reach out. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.